This video is for business leaders who want a framework for daily habit mastery so that they can take bites out of their least favorite and challenging tasks every day. So this is actually about mastery in that a fundamental skill of mastery is being willing to do something every day for years on end. Typically 10,000 hours is approximately 3 hours a day for 10 years. So if you really want to get good at something, but not everybody does, and I understand that. So if that's not you, it is super useful to do the same thing in terms of everybody has daily challenging or frequent challenging things that just never get to, and this can help you with that. So watch to the end of this to get bonus material on maintaining challenging habits and a recommended video about becoming challenge seeking. It's the only way I know of how to attain mastery, but also to move forward on these really challenging things that most people, even high-level executives many times, just don't get to. So I'm excited to share this new insight and framework that I've just created with you. It's brand new to me. I just created it recently in the last week, and it's already kind of been a game changer for me. So I'm really excited about sharing it with you and hoping it does the same for you. So the reason most people on earth never master anything isn't a lack of talent. It's a lack of daily habit mastery. Now, this isn't the only thing, but ultimately what it is it's a long-term effort, daily doing something that is at the top edge of your skill, which is why it is so rare. Mastery comes from that an average of the 10,000 hours I already mentioned, of a deliberate practice, ideally under the tutelage of expert teachers or trainers. But many of the top people in the world didn't have that luxury or the luxury of expert teachers and trainers until after they were one of the best and they could finally afford them. So if you can afford one, why don't you have one? For the rest of us, we have to make do with some form of self-apprenticeship, as I've been talking about my previous 2 episodes about Robert Greene's mastery. This is just a continuation. This week, the theme is mastery. So everything I do will be about that. So with the self-apprenticeship, it essentially means that your quest for mastery or excellence in doing challenging things is going to be even more challenging because you don't have a guide. Now, there's a way to measure this. I don't have time to get into this. I will probably do an episode within this week on deliberate practice, going deeper on that, because it really needs some coverage, because you can't really attain mastery without that and a daily or highly frequent habit for years on end. But the real reason people don't usually master anything is a lack of consistency, frequency, perseverance, and or a solid method for building, maintaining, and striving for at the top edge of their ability daily for the 10 years or so that it's going to take. So this framework that I'm offering today is the best solution I'm aware of. It's new to me, but it's based on literally decades of my own personal research into my own experimentation and books and reading from the thought leaders in these kind of fields. And this is brand new. So I've just added one flip on this that I've never seen, and I hope it really helps you. So it's the best solution that I'm aware of that maximizes your chances of daily habit mastery, which will support that path to mastery or even to doing daily challenging things. Even if you just want to get more, get more of the most challenging tasks done to improve continuously, this is the framework for you, because there's always things we just would rather not do. Now, it works especially well for those tasks you'd rather not do, and we all have them. Or always procrastinate, because for you, whatever that task is, whatever that challenge is, they're hard or aversive for you. Other people might love them, but for you, they're aversive. Now, this gets to an important point. If you never have to do these tasks, if you have the financial means to outsource that which you hate doing and other people either love doing or will do a better job and just pay them to get it over and done with and out of your life, do that. So outsource if you can, so you can stay focused on your strengths, the things you're probably paid for. For everything else, what I'm about to offer is a great daily tool, because not every one of us has the luxury. I would have a vegan chef and never cook again, probably in my life, if I had the means to do that. Not yet. I would probably never clean anything in my house ever. I would rather hire a daily cleaner to simply keep it in immaculate shape so I could be busy doing other things like this that I love doing. So one of the greatest challenges about doing something that's hard daily is that it drains your willpower. And Roy Baumeister, a University of Queensland social psychologist, an expert on willpower, self-control, and self-esteem. He's world-renowned, and he's written like 80 papers or 80 books, I can't remember, but a bunch of stuff. He's a world authority on this. And he and others have shown that willpower is finite. In short, willpower is associated with levels of glucose, and in particular, brain glucose, because it's energy consuming. Willpower takes effort, which burns glucose, or the neurotransmitters that glucose is converted into, to be more neuroscience-y, since that's who I am. Okay, so also doing the same thing daily is doubly exhausting because it can be boring and frustrating if progress isn't obvious or there isn't something inherently rewarding about the progress that you do see. So because of that, there's a double-edged sword here, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, but most of us have multiple challenging things we'd like to make progress on, whether it's daily exercise or cleaning our garage or doing our taxes. I don't care what it is, whatever sucks for you or whatever is really challenging for you that you aren't good at, you haven't mastered, you're not naturally intuitive at it. Those are the things where this is going to help you the most. But to achieve mastery in anything, you have to be willing to struggle at that top edge. So Baumeister, same guy, has also said that trying to establish more than one difficult habit at a time increases the chances that you'll fail or quit all of them. So if you try to do two challenging habits, two new habits, building good habits, you're about half as likely. Now that's maybe an approximation, but the bottom line is the more new and challenging things you do, since your willpower is finite, you're going to have to spread it out over those 2 or 3. Now, I think I've found kind of a brain hack and a way around this, or what I'm calling this is a mindset hack. So that's the good news. I have a mindset hack that I think gets around this problem, because while you reduce your chances of a habit sticking if you do more than one, doing the same thing every single day, and there's a good reason you should be doing it every single day, can be boring and frustrating because you're doing it every day, and it's something you don't really like. So it has the willpower drain, but also just sort of a mental drain of, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I need a break from it. When you take the break, oftentimes you'll break that good but challenging habit. So the idea here is to do this. Create a powerful habit around a daily challenge time rather than a specific daily activity. So instead of saying every day, because Tim said every day is good, I'll clean the garage until it's done. Well, by day 1, 2, or 3, because you might hate doing it, you may never, you may burn your garage down instead of going out there every day and doing it even for a short time. Okay. So because of that, we should do instead is say, every day I will have a block of time to which I will put in a challenging task. Now, here's the thing that's really good about this. We all tend to have multiple tasks, things we should do or would like to do, but have trouble getting to, are mentally challenging, boring for us. We just don't have talent, which is more trained ability than anything. But establishing and maintaining those habits can be extremely challenging because of the reasons I've already cited. So by instead saying, okay, your daily habit is not one specific task you don't like doing or that's hard for you. Instead, you have a challenge time into which you can plug any task, and therefore it fulfills the criteria of making a daily habit. It's daily, but what you do inside your challenge time can be changed. So I'm really excited about this. This has worked pretty darn well for me so far. I've only been experimenting with it for about a week, but it seems to work for me, and I hope it works for you. Essentially, what this does and why this is such a good thing is you get a daily sense of progress. Yay, I did my challenge hour, or even my challenge 15 minutes for today. So you define it by effortful, challenging work done for a set period of time. The type of work is irrelevant. It just has to be in the category of challenging for you. Okay, so you get that daily sense of accomplishment, even if you switch between different tasks. So maybe you do the garage for 15 minutes or half an hour. But you don't want to do that every day because you know you're going to hate it forever in very few days. So you switch to a different task and you do your exercise, or you do your taxes, or you do that one part of your job you hate doing but nobody else can do in place of you. Maybe you hate scheduling, or you hate certain personnel tasks, but it's just in such a way that nobody else can make that decision for you and you can't outsource it or farm it out. Okay, so no matter which specific task you do, you're building that same daily habit mastery, because now you're building the habit of effortful block of time to do anything that needs to be done. So you get the variety of being able to switch, which really helps. Our brain loves novelty, keeps us from getting too bored or too tired of any one task. And because you're switching between them, it will also minimize boredom, maximize variety, and increase the odds that you're likely to do it. So now your daily habit is just to do something in that committed time block for an X period of time, and the task is irrelevant as long as it meets the criteria of being challenging and something that you want to build a habit around doing. So why daily? It's like every day? Yeah, actually every day is the best way to do it. Basically for the same reason you brush your teeth every day. Do you ever think to yourself, you know, I'm really busy today. Maybe I should just not brush my teeth today or this weekend because I have too much work to do. It never even occurs to us. And essentially that's because it's the best and fastest way to form a habit is to do a habit every single day. Also, by taking every day, there's no rest days. Well, you know, today is my day off from this challenge. And the next thing you know, the problem with having that day off, if you're doing exercise, that's necessary for recovery. But one of the dangers with that is you could endanger the habit itself. That is, you've stopped for one day, so the next day you find another excuse to take another rest day. Or worse, you make resting the habit instead of challenging. You sit down and watch Netflix for that hour. Well, that's not hard to establish that habit, is it? So the problem is when you start resting as the habit instead of doing it at your challenging daily habit, it's harder to do something hard, something challenging for you, than to do nothing or do an easy task like taking the day off. So that's the main reason is no days off means you have no out. Now, here's an important point there. While you could do it every weekday rather than every single day, just be aware that those 2 days off could easily, all too easily in many cases when it's a challenging task, turn into 3, 4, or more days. And now you're back to square one. You got to start again. So fair warning, and you have been warned, if you do take those 2 days off, make it religious and inflexible, shy of a medical reason, shy of earth-shattering emergency that you must do it those other 5 days. So as the habit gets more established, as it becomes entrenched in our brain, which takes an average of 66 days, as little as maybe 20 some, but as much as over 200, 66 is an average. It will depend on the specifics of yourself and the specifics of the task, how long that takes. But the more established it becomes, the less and less willpower it will take to maintain. Let's go back to brushing your teeth. Do you ever go, oh, this is just 2 minutes, I could do something else with? You don't, because it takes very little effort, because it's got a lifetime of habit. It's also the reason you walk so well. You walk every day. You speak your native language every single day. These things are very complex things, but you're so damn good at it because you do it every single day. But here's an important point too that everybody seems to glaze over, even the daily habit power gurus, and that is, it'll never take no willpower. I suppose I've never really struggled with brushing my teeth at the same time. Does it take zero willpower to brush your teeth? Maybe after a lifetime, after 55 years, yes. But by and large, I've been exercising for 40 years, and it still takes me some willpower to go out and do it every second day. I've fallen off the wagon for the last week. No problem. I know how to get back on. And that is the topic of the bonus material. So welcome, and thank you for wading through to the bonus material, watching this far. So here it is. To keep your momentum up, start small, stay consistent, and scale up if you can sustain it daily. So what this means is you might start off with 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. Now, this is not Atomic Habits or Tiny Habits. I personally think they're crap, and that is a scam, because that's literally, I will do my least effort and guarantee success. That is not the best way to build a habit, and that is not a way for you to build self-esteem or take pride in your work. It's like saying, I did 1 push-up and I'm proud of myself. Really? Are you proud? Literally anybody on earth can do 1 push-up. It fills you with a whole sense of so effing what. Okay, so in addition to that, start small, stay consistent, scale up if and only if you can sustain that increased amount. So you start off at 15 minutes and you move it to 20 minutes and you can sustain 20 minutes, great. Sustain 20 minutes and keep scaling it up as long as you can sustain it every single day. So do it daily or week daily at least. I've already established that. But it's better to do 5 minutes a day, despite what I just said. It's still better to do 5 minutes a day than 1 hour once a week. So 5 minutes a day is 35 minutes, but the fact that you're doing it daily is entrenching a habit at a much greater rate and every day, like brushing your teeth. So if you do 10 minutes a day, now you're at 70 minutes a week, which is now over. And I would recommend you start essentially at a sweet spot. Not, this is so easy, I can guarantee that I can do it. Forget that. That's nonsense. That's a slow path. And I have literally millions of data points to argue against tiny habits and atomic habits. But we're not going to talk on that. I want to talk on how, just do it this way. Make it, I'm certain I can do it, but I think it will be challenging. If it is too challenging and you just cannot sustain it for any reason, back it off a little bit. So if 25 minutes is just 5 minutes too much, back it off to 20. Keep it at 20 for a period of time. And if you decide you can sustain that, great, stay on 20. You can boost it back up to 25. And if you start to fall off the wagon again, back it to 20 until you can do 20, and then 25, and then 30 within a reasonable maximum. What is a reasonable maximum? It's all about you and the time you need and how much you can sustain, but it must be sustainable on that daily or week daily basis. So really, that's what it is. Regardless of how much you can do, Less every day is better than once a week, a bunch once a week. Whatever amount that is, more is still better, up to the maximum that's practical for your life and your needs. So, and if you fall off the wagon, and this is critical because I've literally fallen off the wagon for years at a time by my exercise, but yet I've maintained it most days, most weeks, most months, and most years for approximately 40 years. So this works. If you fall off the wagon, for whatever reason, like I just did with my exercise, you take full responsibility. There's no excuse. I chose to do it. It's totally my fault and my responsibility. Recommit to it with a plan to prevent it next time. So it's like, okay, I already know what my plan is because I've done this many times. Let's spend most of my time on the wagon. Okay? So have your plan. If this happens, I will back off the time. I will double it on the next day if I miss a day. Whatever it is that helps you maintain, or if I skip a day, I'll just forgive myself for that, but I will get back to it the immediate next day. So once you've done that, you've made your plan to prevent falling off the wagon, then you practice self-compassion. That is, forgive yourself immediately. Beating yourself up does nothing but increases the chances you will quit forever. I have extensive experience at this. I haven't looked at the research, but I'm sure it would say the same thing. And then start again the very next day. I will be exercising, I believe tomorrow is my day. It's either today or tomorrow. Today, I can't do it. I have commitments which have made it impossible. No problem. My next exercise day, I will be there doing it. So forgive yourself immediately, start the very next day. Rinse and repeat if it happens again, no matter how many times it happens. If you get back on the wagon consistently, what really matters is what you do most of the time, not all of the time. Beating yourself up, as I said, will tend more than anything to cause you to quit entirely. Whereas gone, I screwed up again. It's my own fault, my own choice. Get back on that wagon. Works by far the best of anything I have ever seen, and it's what I practice myself. So my recommended video is become challenge seeking. This is to flip the script of, oh, well, we're all comfort seeking. Well, yeah, every animal is. Evolution says, be lazy, save energy, make babies, be comfortable, eat lots of food. That's what it says. That's our default. That isn't who we have to be. And those who attain mastery or excellence and self-discipline move away from that effortlessly, consistently for years on end. That's it for Crush It Club 232, Daily Habit Mastery. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.